All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ba'chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, your great millstone, who well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect, 144 first fruit. All right, this is Brother Kasha Kwala coming back at you with another lesson. And of course, Trump, this dude, man. He's gonna bring it home for America, though. I'll tell you that. He's gonna bring it right home for America. But just recently, he had a press conference and he was asked a particular question. And I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip so y'all can, see it for yourselves. But we're gonna dissect this entire clip. It's only 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Okay.
On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also saying that the president.
It's such a racist
There
question.
are some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists because of your rhetoric.
That. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
And Mr. President,
I love it. You know what the word is? I love our country.
On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists.
And Salakia, for the background noise, we got some people over there building a house. So
We're also
I don't know
saying
why you'd
that
say
the
that. It's such a racist
There are
question.
some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists because of your rhetoric.
That. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
And Mr. President,
I love it. You know what the word is? I love our country.
First off, it's not a word, it's a phrase, dumbass. Okay? A word is love. Okay? A word is racist. You said a phrase, you stupid idiot. Okay? But this idiot is going to bring you America's home, meaning home to a nuclear missile. Okay? Because the elite always put some dumbass puppet in the office and says some dumbass shit and does dumbass shit, in turn will bring the downfall of America. This is just who you have set up. A guy with a toupee and some fake ass hair. All right? This is who's going to lead America into its extinction. Okay? But the question was asked by this woman right here about how the statement that Trump said, I think earlier this week, that he was a nationalist. Okay, let's get the word nationalist. All right? Because they don't show in this clip, but I watched this whole little dialogue between these two. And then she went to further ask, she's like, do you even know what the word nationalist means? And he totally blew it off. She put a little, this is what we do on the highways and byways. Be like, you're racist. You know what the word means? But she asked him what the word nationalist means. He couldn't answer it. So I'm going to answer it for you, dumbass. All right, this is nationalist. It says a person who advocates political independence for a country. Okay? Continuing on. A person with a strong patriotic feelings. Okay? Patriotic feelings. And this is how you know that this is an Americanized, socialized definition, the second one, because it says patriotic. French is not patriotic. Okay? Who considers themselves patriots? America. They even got a goddamn football team named the Patriots. No really other country uses the word patriot as much as America does. So this is an Americanized definition. But for the sake of the lesson, it goes with the word nationalist. All right? It says especially one who believes in the superiority of their country over others. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like racism or being racist. A nationalist? Yes, you can kind of consider it being racist. Just, of course, the word race goes back to a certain breed or a lineage or a line, which we're going to get that word race. But this is like a synonym, but dealing with nations, okay? Not nations, dealing with a kingdom, okay? But even when you go into the word nation, in the Greek, it goes back to ethnos, which means ethnicity, which means race, okay? So calling yourself a nationalist is, you can confederate it with being a racist, okay? If you consider yourself a strong gun-ho American, then you're literally are considering yourself a nationalist. You're literally saying fuck the French, fuck the Russians, fuck the Africans, fuck the Germans, fuck the Austrians, so on and so forth. That in turn, because people consider being German a type of race, you're being racist if you're a nationalist. So, sir, Mr. Trump, yes, you are racist. Yes, technically, she did ask a racist question. But she only asked that question because you considered yourself that. Okay? So let's go into the word race. It says people of common descent. Okay? Race, breed, lineage, family. Correct. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, the KKKs endorsed President Trump's election. Okay? So it says race, people of common descent. Let's go to ist. Okay? It says one who does or makes. Okay? So if your race ist, you do or make things for your race. Meaning you can only be racist towards your own kind. Meaning your own flesh and blood. Your own people. I'm an Israelite. If I say I'm racist, that means I'm for the Israelites. Simple as that. And I'm going to say this. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, or Yahweh, the omnipotent heavenly Father, is racist. Time to prove it. Let's prove it. Okay? Let's get it. And I'm going to get 2 scriptures proving that Yahweh, who the word ignorantly calls God, is racist. Okay? This is second Ezra's chapter 6, verse 56. It says, as for the other people, which also come of Adam, because when you read that chapter, it says, all came from Adam, which is factual, okay? Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Meaning, if you have a full bucket of water, right, and a little spill, splash there, a little splash there, are you going to drop that bucket and be like, no, I dropped a little inkling of this full bucket of water? No, you're not going to give a shit. You're just going to keep moving, okay? That's how the Lord feels about these other nations, okay? And just to clear that up, I'm going to get one more scripture about the word nation, okay? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. All right. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. I'm going to read the whole verse. For nation shall rise against nation, all right, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Let's get the word nation. Oh, what do you know? It's ethnos in the Greek, which means a multitude, associated or living together. Let's go back to the word race. People of a common descent. If there's an association of people living together, I'm pretty sure they're of a common descent. That's factual, okay? A company, troop, swarm, multitude of individuals of the same nature or genius. Come on, man. The human family. A tribe, nation, people, group. Come on. All right? So it says nation against nation. So ethnos against ethnos. So ethnicity against ethnicity, meaning a race war. People are going to be racist toward their own kind and go back to their own kind. Again, race, people of common descent. If shit popped off, I'm pretty sure the white people, the so-called white people, going to go with the so-called white people. The so-called black people going to go with so-called black people. Facts. They're going to go to who is common to them, who they can relate to. You're not going to see some niggers cooked up with some crackers in that day, man. It's not going to happen. And you definitely ain't going to see no Israelites cooked up with niggers or crackers in that day. Because we're racist. I'm going to go find a man who knows who is an Israelite. The scriptures say be be continually with a godly man who you know keeps the commandments. If you know someone who keeps the commandments, that means you know that they're an Israelite. And they know that they're an Israelite. And there's an understanding right there. Simple. Okay? It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Go back to 2nd Ezra 6 and 56. That's how you know nation is speaking about what? Ethnicity, a race. So if you're a nationalist, nation is in that word, which means ethnicity. And we went into the word ist. It means, or the suffix ist, which means one who does or makes. All right. So nation is ethnos. So you're a nationalist, right? Okay. Which makes you a racist. So you do or make things that would be considering you superior over other people. And that's what Trump called himself. And she asked the question, do you know what the word nationalist means? He didn't want to answer it. Either because he doesn't know or he does know. And him answering that question will prove her point correct. That, yes, sir, you are a racist. You're a racist toward America. Who owns America? The so-called white man. And that's facts. That's 100% factual. Okay? And you know what? He has every right. I'm going to say it. He has every right to be racist. Be racist towards your own people, Trump. Be a white supremacist that you are. Okay? Because I'm for the Israelites. I'm not for the so-called white man. I'm against him. The Lord is against him. Okay? Simple and plain as that. Simple and plain as that. Okay? Again, here's the word racist. I'm going to read the second one. Showing or feeling discrimination or prejudice against people of other races, or believing that a particular race is superior to another. So with that being said, I'm going to get one more precept showing that, I think it's Isaiah 40. I mean, tripping. I'm going to get Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for thou art a holy people. All right. The word holy. Let's get it. It's Kodash. Okay. Which means sacred. Sacred going into the word consecrated. Consecrated meaning separate. Okay. Holy one. Saint. What are the saints? The elect 144. All right. They are separated. They are chosen, elected to get salvation. All right. Set apart from everybody else. Simple. Okay. So the word holy means to be set apart. Okay. For y'all are a holy people. So y'all are people that are set apart unto the Lord thy power, unto Yahweh thy power. Okay. So the Most High has a certain elect number of people because the word holy has saint in it. Okay. It has a certain elect people that are set apart from everybody else. And those select people are Israelites. Okay. It says, Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Most High is a nationalist. Okay. It says, especially one who believes in the superiority of their country over others. Simple as this. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. At the end, it says above all people that are upon the face of the earth. He chose a particular nation, a holy, consecrated, sacred, set apart people to be over all the other people on the planet Earth, which would make the Most High a racist and a nationalist. Simple as that. He chose a people that he decided to put in the forefront and forget everybody else. Okay? Let's go. Let's see. I think this is what I want. Yep, Isaiah 40 and 15. Isaiah 40 and 15. Behold, the nations, again, ethnos, ethnicity, all right, are as a drop of a bucket. So all the other races are a drop of a bucket, okay, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. You don't matter, okay. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. The other nations don't matter to the Lord. Simple. Okay? And guess who else shows that the other nations and other people don't matter? The so-called white man. That's why he pushes a certain agenda that he wishes to get accomplished, but it's going to be sorely, according to Job 20, it's going to be sorely done away with. Okay, and this is his agenda in Psalms the 83rd chapter, which we'll get to. But I want to continue this this video.
Good for him. Good for him. It was a racist question.
Of course, the so-called white woman, who is definitely Edomite, I've done watched this video about 5 times, so she's a cracker. All right? She definitely is an Edomite. Of course, she's going to agree with her master. Okay?
I mean, I can't stand this whole idea that somehow if you support any of the policies associated with this president, that somehow you must be a racist. I mean, that is probably...
That's facts. If you do support Trump's policies, you are a racist. You are for certain people. It's facts. We just went into the word nationalist. We just went into the word race. We just went into the word racist. Okay? If you do support this man, you are a racist. You are for the so-called white people. That's facts. Look what he's doing. Okay? Sending 15,000 troops to the border to prevent a certain people to come into a particular nation or ethnos. And this nation is ran by what ethnicity? The so-called white man. So he's preventing a certain other race, which are the Israelites, but they consider themselves Mexicans because they're Gentiles. Okay? He's preventing them to come into this country. Okay? So yes, let me rewind that. If you agree with his policies, you are a nationalist, you are a racist. Towards the white people, meaning you are for the white people.
That somehow you must be a racist. I mean, that is probably the worst thing he's associated with this president, that somehow you must be a racist.
Yes, if you're associated with anything he says, you are a racist.
I mean, that is probably the worst.
Towards the so-called white man. You are for the so-called white man.
You can call anyone. It's not the kind of thing anybody can easily...
Shit, call me a racist, yes. I'm for the Israelites. I'm for the 12 tribes of Israel.
Cover from. They're immediately put on the defensive, and so good for him for...
Of course they're put on the immediate defensive because they don't understand the meaning of words.
On its head today. That was a question asked by a PBS correspondent. Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Richard Fowler and conservative commentator and strategist Rob...
Of course they have the 2 Uncle Tom Coons on the show.
I mean, wow, right? He's turning, though, this whole thing on its head, because previously, I think people, the minute, somebody's throwing out the term race, you say, oh my goodness, well, I can't talk about globalism and nationalism in those ways because somehow that might invoke something else. And there's this sort of fear. I think back to Mitt Romney and how fearful he was of the press. And then you get this president saying, no, you know what? You're asking a racist question. Was he right?
He was...
Listen to this quote.
Absolutely right. For me, I completely support the president pushing back.
Bam! You know what she said earlier? Anyone who is associated with... Let me go back to it.
You can call anyone president that somehow you support any of the policies associated with this president, that somehow you must be a racist. I mean, that is...
All right, so anyone who associates with the policies must be a racist.
Invoke something else, and there's this sort of fear. I think back to Mitt Romney and how fearful he was of the press. And then you get this president saying, no, you know what? You're asking a racist question. Was he right?
He was absolutely right. For me, I completely support the president pushing back on, somebody basically calling him a racist, basically calling the administration.
All right, cool. You support Trump. John 8:44. Ye are your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. This nigga right here, okay? He was this tear, all right? He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in truth. You agreeing with Trump, you're agreeing with the Trail of Tears, You're agreeing with Manifest Destiny. You're agreeing with the French Indian War. You're agreeing with the Civil War. Okay? You're agreeing with our people being, the so-called Negroes being institutionalized. You're agreeing with the so-called Negroes, the so-called Native Americans, and the so-called Latinos being indoctrinated to a system that they know nothing about, that's foreign, okay, and absolutely ruined our people. You're agreeing that the so-called white man put caches and stockpiles of guns into our neighborhoods and drugs and made us kill ourselves. You're agreeing about starting all the way, I want to say, from the Ronald Reagan administration all the way up to the Bill Clinton administration, that the putting out of so-called black men out of the houses so the children will not be raised to a father figure when they grow up. Okay, you're agreeing to all of this if you're agreeing with Trump, because you're agreeing with the so-called white man, which is your father, the devil. Therefore, you are a terror. Therefore, you are considered. Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept, because it doesn't really make me mad anymore, but sometimes when you think about how rebellious our people are, it gets aggravating. I'm a little aggravated right now at this cool nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can be aggravated. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? This is Galatians chapter 2 and 6. But of these who seem to be somewhat whatsoever they were, and make it no matter to me. That's where Paul's writing. He says, don't make no matter to me. Because even when you read in Philippians, I want to say the 4th chapter, it says, be careful for nothing. And also when you read Sirach 30 and 24, which I'll get real quick, it tells you not to be of too much care. Let's see. This is Sirach chapter 30 and 24. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. That's right. If you care too much about certain things in this dumbass society, you're going to age quickly. Okay? So it says, it maketh no matter to me. The Most High accepted no man's persons. There ain't no respected persons in this thing, man. It says, Salakia. For they who seem to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me. But counterwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, meaning Paul was the one to go preach to the people who didn't know they were Israelites, all right, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter, meaning Peter mainly stayed in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem was mainly people who knew they were Israelites, so that's who Peter preached to. Both of them had hardships, because it's hard getting to an Israelite who thinks he knows something. Okay, that's what Peter had to deal with. And sometimes it's kind of hard to get through Israelites who don't know they're Israelites. They don't want to believe it. All right. So verse 8, for he that wrought affectionately in Peter to the apostles of the circumcision, meaning Peter was really strong about preaching to the Israelites. The same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles, meaning Paul wanted to preach to niggas who didn't know they were Israelites. This coon right here, he don't know he is Israelite. Okay, verse 9, and when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, all right, perceived the grace was given unto me, so they saw that, oh, he's gonna go preach to the Gentiles. They gave to me Barnabas, the right hands of fellowship, meaning fellowship of association, okay, that he should go unto the heathen, and they and they unto the circumcision. That's the point I wanted to make, that he go unto the heathen. So Paul is still speaking about the Gentiles right here. We all know the word Gentile means Hellen. We all know where the word Hellen comes from. It comes from Hellenist, okay? Who was Hellenized? The Israelites. When you go back to First Maccabees and read about Antiochus or Antiochus Epiphanes, okay, in the 1st chapter of the book of Maccabees, all right? He totally screwed the minds of the Israelites to make them think Greek. The word Gentile means a Greek-speaking Jew who has a Greek name and takes on Greek philosophy. That's all Gentile means. So Gentiles, when Paul is speaking, it's the Israelites who don't know they're Israelites. Simple. But the point of the matter, he says, that we should go unto the heathen. Why did he say that? We know damn well, okay, that this is not for the heathens. They're not going to get it. No other nation is going to get this but Israel. But why did he say the heathens? He is calling the Gentiles, or the Israelites who don't know the Israelites, heathens, because they're taking on the customs of the heathens. They're agreeing with the heathens. This nigga right here is a heathen. Simple as that. Okay? He's a fucking heathen. All right? And they unto the circumcision. So in this, he called the Gentiles uncircumcised. He called them heathens, and he mentioned them as Gentiles. Okay? All right? You are a heathen if you take on heathen customs. You are. That's why we read John 8:44. Ye are your father the devil, because you're taking on the customs of your father, which is a fucking devil. You're agreeing with your father, bro. So I'm going to rewind these words because, like Yahweh Shai said, thou sayest.
He was absolutely right. For me, I completely support the president pushing back on, somebody basically calling him a racist, basically calling the administration racist.
He supports his father, which is the devil. So let's continue listening to this.
I think is really despicable that comes a lot from the media, particularly African-American journalists, who, by the way, I think do good work, is that they are goaded into always asking these racially loaded questions so that...
Because that is the point. It's race right now. This country is extremely divided via race. And that's facts. Trump is not allowing a race of people to come in. Trump is not allowing another race of people to come in from another side of the world. The fact of the matter is race. These questions are relevant. Okay? You're just too blind because you follow your father, who is Trump, which is an Edomite. Okay?
Outlet can push out something that has President Trump and racist in the same tweet.
You've got an African-American journalist sitting right here next to you. So Richard, what do you say?
A couple things. One, I know this journalist, Yumi Shalcinder at PBS, very well. I've known her for almost a decade. And I don't think that was her point at all when she was the New York Times. She was a great reporter. She's covered everything from Ferguson to Trayvon Martin to the presidential inauguration. She's one of the best in the business. And I think the question was based on a phrase that the president said. Now, I think the president should have...
That's all her question was pertaining to. Hey Trump, you said you was a nationalist. What's up? That's pretty much all she was asking. But that was a racist comment. Fuck out of here.
Could have answered the question a number of ways by saying, when I said nationalist, what I meant was I wanted an America First agenda. That would have been an appropriate answer.
Well, even so, when you go into the word nationalist, you're saying that your nation, ethnicity, because the word, again, nation means ethnos in the Greek, which is ethnicity. The Greek is an Edomite tongue, okay? So, you said it. You're a nationalist. You think your nation or ethnicity is superior to everybody else's, okay?
Instead,
it doesn't matter how Trump would have answered this question. He is still a racist.
Somehow racist. I don't understand why America First is seen as somehow white supremacy.
We could have debated.
America First is white supremacy. Okay? It is. Because all the whites did when they came to this land was rape, rob, and murder another nation and called another nation Indians, which means savages, when they were the real savages.
They
stole this land.
Because
the so-called white man
have taken this idea.
Slovakia, I'll keep pausing it. The so-called white man stole this land. So this nigga coon right here, who's agreeing with Trump, is agreeing about the fact that the so-called white man has done all these atrocities to our people. So you are your father, the devil.
Well, Democrats always say anything that expresses love for America is bad or racist.
That's not
because
true.
They hate America.
I don't hate America.
We have turned this idea of being nationalists into...
This is when he starts turning... At first I was like, okay. And then he starts turning on me when he starts talking about he loved America, of course. What did I expect?
America as something that is racist and that is something that is only quote-unquote for white people or white supremacists. I pushed back on that. I was in the White House with hundreds of young black conservative people.
Yeah, exactly. Young black coons.
A lot of
thinking
them
they can make a difference in the white man's society.
Were supporters of the president.
Confused. Bro.
They all proudly said that they were nationalists because they love this country. I am a nationalist because I serve this country and I love this country. And
because ye are of your father the devil.
Push back on the idea that is a term that is just specifically for white supremacists.
I'm glad you brought that up because it was interesting in the president's press conference today that the Republicans have talked, your movement has talked about.
And of course they'll have two nigga coons debating with one another, showing racial, I don't know if the word, not divination, but divide between one nation. All this is showing is that so-called black people can't agree even with each other. And she just sitting here soaking it all in like, look at these two niggers argue.
Expanding the Republican
that bitch is racist a goddamn
Party, having African Americans as part of it. There's one African American woman and one African American total in the Republican caucus in the United States.
That needs to change.
Excuse me, I'm not done. And the president attacked her while her race was still too close to call. He's saying, "I love not enough love for Mia."
But he's not attacking. I don't think so. It's where is it coming from? Is it coming from a race-oriented angle, or is it from something else? I don't think that he's attacking based on race.
All right. Okay. So Trump, if you call yourself a nationalist, meaning you believe that your country is superior to another, then what's this? What's this right here? Your ethnicity's debt. Because this is what the so-called white man put everybody in. This is why personal debt is at $58,000. This is why family debt is at $850,000. And savings per family is at $12,000. How do you expect us to make $12,000 and pay off $850,000? Who has $58,000 in just sitting in their bank account right now? Not a lot of people. The majority don't. That's facts. Okay? Mortgage, student loan, $1 trillion. Credit card loan, $1 trillion. But you claim to be a nationalist and be for your country. But you can't get these numbers down. It's all according to prophecy. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, in a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? That's exactly what I was saying. You took this land. The so-called white man took this land. And now he's claiming it as his own and kicking people out that have been here before him. Racist. Nationalist. Nationalism. All right, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, debt. That's what that thick clay is speaking about. This debt that you see right here. But you claim, Mr. Trumpity Trump.
It's a racist question.
You claim, Mr. Trumpity Trump, okay, that you're a nationalist. Well, how you gonna get your nation out of this predicament right here? You tell me. This is Daniel chapter 2:43. It says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, and I'm applying this scripture, okay? They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay, okay? Even as iron is not mixed with clay, okay? If I'm spelling this right. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. There we go. Yep. The denarius, all right, an ancient Roman silver coin originally worth 10 asses, a unit of weight equal to that of a silver denarius. An ancient Roman gold coin with 25 silver denarii, worth 25 silver denarii. Do you see what I'm reading? At first it says an ancient silver coin. Then it said an ancient gold coin. Meaning what? The value went down. They started mixing and mingling it with things that that brought the value of it down. Now I'm applying this scripture. I'm just applying it. Okay? So at the end of this, it says, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Okay? If you mix iron and clay together, it's going to be a weak foundation. Okay? Which the iron and clay is representation of what is today, America. That's why that stone is going to come, which is Yahweh Shai, and break the feet of it, where the iron and clay was mingled together. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron and clay is not mixed. That's right. When you keep devaluing something, hence the denarius, when it kept devaluing, when they kept putting certain other substances in it other than gold, and it started becoming less valuable, therefore it crumbled, it cracked, and debt came about, right? Again, they don't cleave together. All right? They don't cleave together. The money right now, America's money, ain't cleaving. It's like iron. It's even as iron is not mixed with clay. You can't mix. You can't buy oil with paper. It doesn't mix. Well, you need substance. That's why people are dropping the dollar and going to the petro yuan, because it has gold. It has substance. I'm trading my oil and getting gold back. I don't want to trade my oil anymore and get some paper back. I can make paper, god dang it. It's devalued. So Trump, what are you doing about it? If you consider yourself a nationalist, not a fucking thing. Because you can't do anything to these prophecies, man. But other than further continuing, because it's a part of prophecy. You can't do nothing against the truth before it, man. You know? So I was just that lesson was intriguing to me. I mean, that video was intriguing to me. I just wanted to dissect it and share it amongst the body. Okay? So Lord willing, it was edifying. And until then, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Until next time, I want to say shalom.